Hi, this is Dr. Asil Abdul-Latif, and in this video I will explain the reading passage in page 105 entitled The Story of a Third Culture Kid. What's the meaning of a third culture kid, which is usually abbreviated as TCK? This refers to a person with a third culture. A third culture, which means a unique culture that includes elements from two cultures. The first one is the culture of I can say his home culture, the culture of the country where that person was born. And the second one is the culture of the country, another country, usually the parents of that person immigrated or moved to. So the second culture refers to the culture of the country where that person was raised or spent the years of his we can say childhood or early youth. So as we have mentioned, the result is a unique mixture of cultural elements from two countries. This mixture, this unique mixture is the third culture. So this is the story of a third culture kid, Tommy. This is Tommy. Tommy was born in Colombo, the largest city in the island country of Sri Lanka. The streets of Colombo were busy, and Tommy loved the colors, sights, and the smells. He played on sandy beaches with his friends. He spoke Sinhalese with his friends and family and learned English at school. He loved visiting the neighborhood markets with his family to buy fresh fruits and vegetables. Typical Sri Lankan dishes made with coconuts and rice were some of his favorite foods. So Tommy was born in Colombo, the largest city in the island country of Sri Lanka. He was born in Sri Lanka. The culture, his culture or his home culture is from or is connected with Sri Lanka, with Colombo. And the streets of Colombo are described as busy. Tommy loved the colors, the sight, the smells. He loves everything related to the place where he was born and where he spent his childhood. He remembered playing on sandy beaches with his friends. He can speak two languages, Sinhalese. It is the formal language of Sri Lanka, and also the English language which he studied at school. He loved visiting. As you can see, visiting is a verb in ing form that comes after the verb love or like. He liked visiting the neighborhood markets with his family to buy fresh fruits and vegetables. Typical means a good example of Sri Lankan dishes made with coconuts and rice were some of his favorite foods. So he even interested in the food culture of his country, of his home culture. When he was 6, Tommy, this is the second paragraph. When he was 6, Tommy moved with his parents to a small town near New York City. His parents both had new jobs there. For Tommy, life in his new town was a big surprise. Everything was different. The streets were quieter and less colorful. The grocery store sold so many different types of fruits, vegetables, and cheese and cereals. There were so many restaurants in his new town. He tried Italian food, Chinese food, Greek food, and Mexican food. The weather was different too. Tommy saw snow for the very first time. In the second part, we have a description, we can say, of the second stage of his life when he was 6. We can say we have a description of his early boyhood. Tommy moved with his parents. They immigrated to New York City. His parents found jobs there, and the new place, the new culture, was a big surprise for Tommy. It was totally different from his home culture. The place was quieter and less colorful, but this does not necessarily mean less interesting. On the contrary, there he had the opportunity to have knowledge about various other cultures, especially about the food culture of China, of Italy, of Greece, of Mexico, and even the weather. Even the weather there was different, and this experience can be described as extremely interesting. Details related to new types of food, and even the weather. He is able to see snow for the very first time, and this is, as we have mentioned, is a very and extremely exciting experience. Now the third paragraph. Looking back, Tommy remembers learning that the culture in the United States was different from the culture in Sri Lanka. Not better, not worse, just different. Tommy learned new things every day. He learned Spanish in school. He also learned ways that people in the United States communicate with each other. Tommy remembers everyone saying, "How are you doing?" But it wasn't a question. It was like saying hi. So when Tommy remembers learning that the culture in the United States was different from the culture, so the culture in the United States is different from his home culture, but this does not mean it is better or it is worse. It is just different, and Tommy likes this different experience because he can learn various languages, and he can learn also many pieces of information about various cultures, and about the relations with people, how to communicate with a person with different cultural background, and also he can learn various languages in addition to English, and also to the language of his homeland, which is Sinhalese. He can also learn Spanish. Now this passage, I will move to this passage. Tommy was a third culture kid, and we have explained the meaning of third culture kid. That means he was raised in a different country than his parents. He was raised in the United States. Many third culture kids believe that they are lucky. They are lucky because they have a unique culture. And we have explained that this unique culture, this unique third culture, consists of blended elements from the culture of his parents, from the country where he was born, and the country to which his parents moved, where he spent many years of his early boyhood or youth. They know and understand more than one culture. They know and understand more than one culture, and they often speak more than one language. So they have various cultural backgrounds, and they have the ability to speak many languages. Tommy went to college in Los Angeles and studied languages. Now he works for a big charity that helps children around the world get a good education. He works for a certain institution that helps children to get a good education, to have a good education. Now the last part, sometimes it's hard to learn a whole new way of life. Sometimes it's very difficult to adapt to a new culture. But Tommy says it's the best thing that ever happened. So Tommy really believes that he is very lucky. He calls Sri Lanka home, and the United States home too. So he has two homes. He has two cultures. He has the ability to speak various languages. And he really believes that he is lucky for having a unique culture, a third culture, a rich cultural background. Now we have this true or false exercise. Tommy lived in Sri Lanka most of his life. This is false. Only his childhood, we can say. He was born in Sri Lanka. Yes, he was born in Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is his homeland or home culture. Tommy liked traditional Sri Lankan food. Yes, this is true. He liked traditional Sri Lankan food. He didn't learn any new languages in the United States. This is false. On the contrary, he has the opportunity to learn many or other languages, like the Spanish language. In the United States, Tommy ate mostly at Sri Lankan restaurants. This is false. In the United States, he became interested in dishes related to various countries, and he has knowledge about food cultures related to, as we have explained, to China, Greece, Mexico. The last one, Tommy is happy to be a third culture kid. Yes, this is true. He is really happy for having this opportunity to enrich his knowledge about the languages and the cultures of many countries. Thanks for listening.